okay, we road trip. When when she drives properly, I got Ellie in the back. Yeah, so we're on our way to Dobby's grave. Well, this is the way that I came. It's like middle of nowhere. Welcome to Freshwater. It is crazy. You will see the reason why surfers love this beach. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see one or two out there, because it is a surfers beach. Oh, the tide's in, that sucks. I'd rather it was out. Oh wow, look at that. That's mental. Oh, we have people walking on the beach. They're brave. Over there is where Shell Cottage was. We will be going closer soon. But right now, toilet stop. I remember walking over this bridge to go to the bathrooms. Ooh, my life. That's just bizarre. This is Freshwater Beach. It's crazy. There's just nothing but dunes for ages. But we're driving up to the car park where the trucks were, and we'll go from there. This car park that we're in now is actually where the cast's toilets were. Very posh, very glamorous, and I was lucky enough to be allowed to use them. And when I was in there, I couldn't find how to flush the toilet. It was so embarrassing. I didn't know that there was a pedal that you had to push. So literally like 10 minutes later, there's a member of crew outside waiting for me to come down, and I'm trying to find this blooming toilet flush. I finally find the toilet flush because it's very posh portable toilets, brass gilding and all that. And as I open the door, Warwick Davis is sat at the bottom of the trailer steps. And I actually had to step over him. And he said, "It's
all right, I'm short enough, you could just walk over me."
So I walked over Warwick Davis. How crazy is that? But the member of crew, bless him, that was actually waiting for me, that had taken me up to the bathrooms, he was really worried because they'd had somebody before in a previous location, a fan of Harry Potter, who had actually wedged themselves in the bathroom and said they would not come out until this cast member, whether it be Emma Rupert or whoever, Daniel, I don't know who it was, until this cast member came to speak to her. I mean, how bad is that? So bless him, to be fair, he was really worried, but it's just because I couldn't flush the toilet. Oh, that was embarrassing.
Yeah. I'll give you a favour if you push her over. Should we throw something? We can Rocky Balboa dance now! Push it. Go down. Ow! Really?
That's so good on that. I'll bleep out the dipshit. Don't push me, I've got the camera and everything.
No camera! It's alright, sand will blow off. Memories don't. Yeah, go. She rips some of that off and throw it. Throw Dobby! Ah! Dobby's attacking me!
Dobby, yeah. And his sock.
Should I throw him at you? Yeah. Catch. Gosh, man.
It's so bloody windy.
Yeah.
The seagulls don't even need to try.
Doesn't sound too fluffy, Come on, Victoria, run! It's pathetic. This is a good workout for your bum.
You can actually see here where the sand dune has moved over 12 years, where it's cut away. The wind, the weather is cut away at this sand dune, and it's just like somebody sliced it. It's crazy. As you can tell and as you can see, the weather was absolutely atrocious that day, so bear with me. I did go twice. This was the first time that we'd gone back there with my best mate Jess, and then obviously I go back with Janice where the weather is much better. But I wanted to show you these clips because it just goes to show how naturally beautiful and however dangerous this beach could actually be.
There's a big warning to people that are visiting though, Freshwater is not safe. The waves are incredibly strong. There is very big undercurrents. It's not a safe place for you to kind of go in and go near the waves. If you look over this side, you will see just here, it is very, very dangerous, very choppy indeed. There's lots of sharp rocks. This is not your average tourist beach. Very big with surface. I only lived about 20 minutes from here. Well, for a year I actually lived 5 minutes from here. I lived in Pembroke with my ex-boyfriend for quite a long time when I was sort of doing work experience with his mum in her school. She was the headmistress. So we're not 100% sure if that area there is where the Shell Cottage used to be. It's quite hard because the weather is so bad and it's so cold at the moment. There's no kind of, obviously this is a very natural beach. It's very, very, they've kept it as it is, apart from a bit of rubbish here and there. But this area here we think is where Shell Cottage was. But obviously over the period of almost 12 years, it's very, very different now. The path is the same. A little bit more built up. It's not as nice and thin as it was, but I knew it was the only path that was by the car park. It is really weird being back here after so long. I have a little present to give Dobby's grave, but we can't find Dobby's grave because obviously where Dobby was buried, that's not where it is, because that's where we've just been. So trying to find it isn't easy. They found a little area right now, so I'm going to go and have a look to see what they found further up. But crazy weather aside, this place is beautiful. And when we came back in May, I think it was 2008 or 2009, it was the hottest day of the year at the time, and the weather was sensational. But it's not an easy place to visit. It's not somewhere where you'd come for a day with picnic and so on. And there's nothing here. There's toilets just down the road. There's a car park down the road, and there's a car park where we've parked now. And that's basically it. There's no pubs or anything. There's no shops. Very, very natural. So it's quite nice that they chose here, really, because they've kept it as natural as they can. These pebbles, so beautiful. The noise is amazing. Right, there's a gully area here as well, so I'm going to check that out, see what I can find. That's one thing about when we were here, when it was filming, is because obviously they were filming and it was a huge film, it was part of history, I suppose. They'd cleaned the beach up, because obviously you've got rubbish, you've got plastic, you've got bits of plastic here and so on. But during filming, they completely cleaned the beach. So where the camera was going to be shooting, there was not one tiny bit of rubbish. They had cleaned the entire thing. It's just a shame that all that work was wasted for the future, where rubbish just suddenly accumulates again. So sad, really. We used to go to beaches all the time, because this is obviously where I'm from originally. We used to go to beaches, and even if the weather was bad, we'd sit in the car and have a picnic. Regardless of it. It was amazing. My mum was always good at that. Right, we are here at Freshwater West, and it is absolutely so busy. I'm hoping my mic is hidden in my coat, because I don't want you guys getting all the wind and everything on this microphone, okay? She's got a Dobby! What? Now the problem is people are going to look at me like I'm a tourist, but this is where I'm from, so it's not quite a tourist. So I came here with my best mate Jess back in February, and just before lockdown started it was. and it was dead. There was no one here. It was mental. And so now we're here. It's August. The weather is warm, but it's very windy. But it's absolutely mental here. There's even a food truck, which is like Freshwater West has nothing. There's nothing here apart from some public toilets, which are always always really nice, and plenty of toilet roll and everything.
Just a warning to anybody who does want to visit here, especially with children, it is not a safe beach, okay? The rip current in the beach, in the water, is incredibly strong. There is a lifeguard station there, they has to have one, that's been recent. But there's also, believe it or not, quicksand, which I discovered on the way down to the beach when I was on my own. But yes, there is quicksand. The rip current is incredibly strong, and it is known for being incredibly windy, which is why surfers love this beach. So please, if you go with children, be warned, all right? It is not 100% safe, okay?
So we are having lunch, cheese and ham in Fresh West. Last time I came here, there was one car. Last time Janice came here, there was a couple of cars. And now, today, it is like a massive tourist attraction. The swell is huge, so we've got loads of surfers. Nobody wearing Harry Potter stuff except us. There's a food cart behind us. We didn't bring any cash, so luckily we did bring sandwiches though. Are you enjoying your day so far?
Loving it.
I'm
getting all excited now.
She's bought a Dobby. I bought my Dobby.
He's here.
She's got a Dobby t-shirt.
He's here. Dobby t-shirt.
Yeah, there's nothing round here apart from that grave that it is Dobby, that it's like anything to do with Dobby.
There was a beautiful Dobby statue a couple of years ago made by a company. I think they're based in either Narberth or Templeton now. It was a beautiful, beautiful Dobby statue, so stunning, but they actually took it back to the shop just in case it was stolen because it wasn't secure. But they did such a beautiful job. Now, if I can remember where this place is, I will put it down below, but you can still visit this statue when the shop is open. It's there for everybody to see, so I highly recommend you go and see it.
So right behind me, as you can see, this gap here, this is actually where Shell Cottage once stood. This beautiful, beautiful shell-like building that is explained so beautifully in Deathly Hallows, where Fleur and Bill lived, and it was also known as a safe house. It is so, so, so beautiful, but it was just here. Now, the actual Shell Cottage that was built here, you couldn't go in it. The inside of it was full of scaffolding. So, rumour has it that another Shell Cottage was built somewhere close by in Pembroke Dock, inside some sort of hangar or a big kind of, big area. I don't know the technical term, but I can try. A big area, we'll go with that. So that was actually just the outside for viewing purposes, for obviously the horrible part where we sadly lose Dobby on the beach, and then the background then for Daniel or Harry, Hermione and Ron, Rupert, Emma, filmed their death, where their burial was. I'm getting all my words mixed up now. It's a very emotional place to be. I was quite hoping it would be a little bit quieter than this, but it's absolutely loads of people here today, which is so odd. But coming back here 12 years later, well, I'm sure you guys can understand it's been an emotional ride. However, on the funny side, I have more sand in my trainers than the sand on the beach. I haven't fallen over yet in the sand dunes. Give me time. I am Lunared up today because of Luna being here, and I did see Luna that day when I was here, as well as the person who plays Bill Weasley, Domhnall Gleeson, and Emma Watson, Rupert Grint, and Daniel Radcliffe. I saw Warwick Davis. Didn't see Bellatrix, she filmed the day before. Helen Bonham Carter was here the day before we turned up. Now, all the cast was staying in the St David's Hotel in Saundersfoot. It's a beautiful hotel that Emma Watson is now rumoured to visit occasionally because she really likes it down here. She does come down here apparently. And then you have the crew who were staying at Bluestone near Oakwood Theme Park. Now that's literally about 30 minutes from this location. St David's Hotel is around the same. This is in the middle of nowhere, fresh west in the middle of nowhere, but it is such a beautiful beach, and also somewhere that people love to surf. My brother would come here all the time with his friends. I only came here occasionally because I don't surf. I tried surfing, fell flat on my bum, and the surfboard sank. How can a surfboard sink? Surfboards don't sink, but when I sat on it, it sank. Okay, how does that work? So the only beautiful memory I have of this place was obviously as Shell Cottage from Deathly Hallows Part 1. Now 2 weeks after that, Shell Cottage had to be taken down straight away because 2 weeks after filming, this beach was going to be used for the new Robin Hood film with Russell Crowe. Now, because obviously it is a protected area, it is a conservation area, this place had to be put back to the way it was. Sadly, I've got to be honest, the dunes are moving. That one dune, it's almost like it doesn't want anyone to have it because it's where Dobby was meant to be buried. It's moving towards the road, so one day that sand dune is going to completely cover the road. It's odd, it's very odd. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go up to where Shell Cottage once stood, and then we're going to show you where Dobby sadly lost his life. So right behind me here, where you see that gap, that we worked out, because it's all changed after 12 years, that is where we think Shell Cottage stood. It is incredibly hard to work out because this landscape has completely changed. Now, Dobby's memorial, when you come and visit, if you want to bring him a sock or a rock or anything present, there is plenty, as you can see soon. His memorial is actually much further up the beach. If you head just over here, it is literally just over there, but it is a bit of a walk to get to, so you have to be patient. But apparently if you put it in Google, Google will tell you the exact spot, the exact GPS spot where his memorial is if you want to come and visit. For those people who want to find the exact place where certain parts were filmed, you definitely send this video on to people because I'm showing you today. So what we can work out after scouring the beach and so on, this space here where I am stood is where we sadly said goodbye to Dobby, where he said, such a beautiful place to be with friends, Harry Potter. So I think about 12 years ago roughly, I was stood not far from this dune, literally just there. In fact, I wasn't stood, I was sat, and I was watching one of the saddest scenes in Harry Potter unfold before my very eyes. The point was actually making me really tearful now. Seriously, I know I'm not like a massive fan of Dobby, but being able to say that I was here for that huge part of the film, to actually watch it being filmed, history in the making of such a beloved character from the series, is something I will never ever forget. So instead of just being able to walk on a small part of the sand dune, which back 12 years ago was actually made up of a sand dune, some scaffolding, a platform, more sand and sandgrass to make it look higher and more realistic and easier for Daniel to actually dig in, that moving around 12 years ago has actually kind of disrupted this area of the dunes of Freshwater West, to the point where when you look around, everywhere else has grass, has sand grass, except this very platform here It's almost like a personal and a permanent shrine to the character we have fallen in love with, known as Dobby the house elf. He was loved by so many. Children across the world were convinced he was real, and their hearts were broken when they were told he was a CGI character. It was hard to believe. He became so well known and so loved to us in the wizarding world that he's somebody, a character. He's not really a character, is he? A hero that I don't think we can ever forget. So I am stood right here at Freshwater West on the sand dune that was used as the burial site for the most iconic creature in Harry Potter. I might not be a massive fan of Dobby'S, but I know that there are millions of people out there like Janice who worship everything about him. I was more of a creature girl myself. But 12 years ago, being part of one of the most iconic and memorable scenes in the Harry Potter franchise, being filmed right here before my very eyes, with me and my sister to one side, Ivana Lunch being interviewed the other side, and then Emma, Daniel and Rupert right here, is something a young girl like me back then and now will never, ever forget. Where Janice is standing right now with little Dobby is where Dobby was actually buried. That is where Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, Rupert Grint climbed up this sand dune, which was further down 12 years ago because it's moved. That is where he dug the grave for Harry with his own two hands. Bless him, as he wanted to do it properly for his best friend.
Dobby is happy to be with his friend, Harry Potter.
So there is actually a story behind these photos. Before we found out we were actually allowed to use the cast's bathroom, the closest toilet we had was about 3/4 of a mile away, which is in the first car park we came to in this video. Now, it's the only toilets, to be honest, and this place is in the middle of nowhere. So, me being me, desperate for a pee, needed to go to the toilet, so I walked all the way to the bathrooms at the first car park. While I was at the first car park, my sister and Emma Watson started having a photo off, where Nadine was taking photos of Emma Watson and Emma Watson was taking photos of my sister Nadine. Crazy, 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 but they absolutely loved it and they both laughed at the situation along with the crew that was surrounding Emma Watson at the time. I myself was incredibly gutted. I missed it. Now, I think one of the reasons why Emma found it funny and she enjoyed herself at this moment was what people don't realise is during the filming of Harry Potter at Shell Cottage, there was about 20 members of the press, 20 paparazzi with really long lenses, and they were chasing Emma Watson everywhere. No matter where she went, they went. It was so cruel. And you know, these people that were there, these press, didn't even know what Emma was filming. They were just there, or who she was playing. They were just there to get photographs of Emma. She was constantly hounded by the press. It was so sad to see. So this moment here where you see her smiling, she genuinely is having a great time, and she's laughing at my sister for taking a photograph of her, because we were genuine Harry Potter fans, loving the day and being well behaved at that.
We have found Dobby's grave, and Janice is falling over trying to put Dobby on top of it. Oh, blimmin' it, woman, are you okay? Oh my god, you're so funny. Oh my god.
Want to check out more of my content? Take a look at this video right here or this video right here. Don't forget to like and subscribe.